Welcome everyone to this tutorial for the SLY Assistant standalone version. My name is Victor from AFI Industries. We got some feedback from our members and also from the Star Atlas community that it might be helpful to have a tutorial about the setup of the standalone version, because there are just a few simple steps, but if you don't know them and if you're not familiar with command prompt, for example, then you might be struggling. To be honest with you, I was struggling when I first tried it. But yeah, this is a beginner's tutorial, so we will go through each of the single steps click by click, so don't worry. Yeah, so there are two versions out there for the SLY Assistant. There is the browser version that was launched 1.5 years ago, and there is a standalone version that was published in March of this year, so just 4 months ago. And this is not a tutorial about the usage of the SLY Assistant in general. It's not about how to set up automation. We have done a tutorial about that some time ago. But this is about the setup. And if you are not decided if you should use the standalone version or the browser version, yeah, let's compare them and see what are the benefits of the standalone versions and also if there are any disadvantages. So let me switch my screen and we go over to my mini PC. So I would say the first benefit is probably that the standalone version is less demanding on the system. So I'm running SLY Assistant on a mini PC with a 2.9 gigahertz CPU and a 16 gigabyte of memory. So nothing too fancy. I think it was around $200. So this mini PC is running 24/7. I have 3 instances running on this PC. We will talk about that later, why this might be helpful also for you. And when I was using, back then, when I was using the browser version, I had the CPU was always at 60% usage, and the memory was up to the top almost 100%. So let's have a look and open up the monitor here, what I'm using now. So it always takes a little bit of moment. So we see right away memory is on 30%, and CPU is normally between 20 and 25%. So that's a huge difference, and this by itself would already be yeah, a reason for me probably to go there, because it's a huge advantage. Because this leads to the second benefit, and they are closely connected. It's the overall stability. So, so from my experience, the standalone version simply runs until you do manually update or something. This could sometimes be a couple of days. So I remember the browser version could also run for like 36 hours or even longer. But most of the time there was some kind of bug, and the app need to restart. And but I'm actually also not sure if this advantage actually comes from the improved coding or directly from the standalone version. But for now, it's a huge difference to what it was back then. It's much more stable, running for days. We can also have a look here. There are some statistics, and you can see the errors. So this one, I just closed it. So this is just running this instant for 2 hours. Let's switch to the first one. This is going for 53 hours now. I did the updates 2 days ago to make sure that when I'm recording this, everything is nice. But you see, it's going pretty good here. And there were 2 errors over this time and some transactions. So on this instance, over 20,000 transactions have been done, and 89 have been resent. So I would say that's not very much. So most of the transactions go through. Of course, this is also mostly due to the fact if the blockchain Solana is congested or not. But still, it shows that this is pretty nice and stable. The next benefit, I would say, is that this stability is also affecting the auto start. So it's a better and stable auto start. With the browser version, I had the 3 instances of the browser in the auto start, and most of the time this worked when the for some reason Windows was restarting, maybe after an update. But sometimes it didn't work. So when this happened during the night, then of course it was a little bit annoying when you wake up and see that it's not running. But having the 3 instances of the standalone version in auto start is super stable. I never had a problem when it was restarting during the night that it was not running. So that's perfect. The next advantage, I would say, is that the update process is very simple. Because in comparison to the browser version, there is no need to update TemperMonkey, because we're actually not even using TemperMonkey anymore. So we don't need to install that. We also don't need to update the wallet. You could still use the wallet with the standalone version, but I'm not doing that. So I'm not even updating a hot wallet here like Phantom or Soulflare. So that makes it even more simple. And also, there is no need to download or update the actual script and copy paste it into TemperMonkey and then restart. It is very simple because you just click a button. It's over here, says update, and you just click it, and it will download the latest version, install it, and restart the app. This is all done automatically, so super easy. Next advantage that I noted down is that you actually don't collect like junk in your wallet cache, because that was a problem back then. I remember only for people that are really sending out lots of transactions. You need to open the wallet every 24 hours to actually empty the cache. And Swift, the main developer right now for SLY Assistant, he therefore introduced a metric here called last sign time to see if there is any delay between the application and the wallet. And of course, for the standalone version, this is always 0. And you needed to make sure if for the browser version this is going above, I think it was 2 or 3 seconds, then you should actually open the wallet again to empty the cache. So that was something that you needed to do from time to time. Again, only if you had like more than 10 or 20 fleets going, then this was a problem. So I think those are mainly the benefits. So you could say because of all these benefits, the transactions sent out by the standalone version should be way faster. I don't think that is the case. At least we cannot measure it. So so I don't see a difference in speed, because probably everything is going too fast. So in theory, the standalone version should be a bit faster, because we are not dealing with a separate wallet. We don't have so much software and scripts installed. But I guess the difference is just too small to actually notice it. Okay, let's look at the disadvantages, because there might be a few. So the first one is probably, you could say, that you need to trust SLY, because if you want to get rid of the wallet, then you need to enter your secret key directly into SLY. So there might be people that are saying, no, I don't want to do that for sure. I don't have much of a problem with it for a couple of reasons. First of all, you should never use your handler wallet for this. So the handler wallet is the wallet that is actually holding your assets. You should only use this with your Lancer hot wallet. So the one that is actually sending out the transactions. And on that wallet, you should only have a little bit of Atlas for the crafting fees and a little bit of Solana for the Sol for the transaction fees. So I'm okay with that. With a browser version, you have to trust Phantom or Solflare or whatever wallet you are using. And we saw in the past that this also comes with a risk. So that's not risk-free. Yeah. But there is one more or one less third party actually that you need to trust. But it's still a little bit of trust, because you enter your secret key. So you have to be aware of that. The second small disadvantage is that it's not easy to do changes in the code, in the script. It's probably still possible. Back then, in the browser version, I used this a lot. So I made some changes to the code, when I thought this is interesting and wanted to try out different things. Now I haven't done that with a standalone version, but I also think the code has really improved. So I actually never looked back. I never felt that this is really a huge disadvantage, that I want to change something. I think the code is just fine, and so I'm totally fine to use the code as it is. And the last small disadvantage is probably that the installation is a bit more challenging than for the browser version. Because you have to use Electron, and we will have a look at that. And it's a bit more complex to set it up. But it's a one-time effort. And as we already said, the updating then on the other side is much more simple. Okay, so let's have a look into the setup. So we will go through all the steps now, step by step. And there is a guide from Swift that he wrote in his Discord server, or the SLY Discord server. I would recommend, first of all, to join that Discord server, and then also have a look at this guide. We will put it in the description of the video. But let's go through the steps. So the first one is you need to download Electron, and there for your operating system. So there is a link in the description, and also in the guide. And we will use this one. If you use this link, then you will come to the GitHub from Electron, and you see the current version. And I just noticed that there's a new version, but it's in alpha. So I think this one is saying the latest. So I would recommend to use this version. And then you go down and see what is your operating system, what you want to install. For me, this is Chrome driver, this one here. And you simply click on it and it's getting downloaded. After that, you will unpack the archive. So it's a zip file, so you need to unpack it. And then you move the folder to a good place. I will not do that step, but I think this should be pretty simple. You right-click on the zip file and you can unpack it with a Windows command and put it to a good place. So probably you don't want to have it in downloads or somewhere. You want to have it, at a good place. And the second step is then download the SLY Electron. So there's also a link for this one. Let's open a new tab. So this is the GitHub from Swift, and there you have the SLY Electron. This is the file. So click on this one, and it will. It will not download directly. You can probably go back and save. That's interesting. Okay, you can download it here. Download raw file. That's probably the way to go. Yeah. And this is on version 1.0.3. It's 2 weeks old. So that's the second step. And unpack this archive into your Electron folder. So that's important, of course. All the files need to be in that folder. For the next steps, I would actually include one. So Swift goes directly to the third step. If you are interested in running different instances or multiple instances, then I would now recommend that you just take the whole folder as it is right now and do as much copies of them as you would want to do. I will show you now why this might be beneficial for you. So I have 3 instances running. So the first one is just holding all the mining fleets and cargo fleets. Because mining and also the transaction for the freighters are pretty cheap transactions. So you can see it here that over this 53 hours, the average sold transaction fee was 0 and then 5 zeros and 6.7. So that is pretty cheap because in general it's 50, and if there's some priority fees, then it might be a little bit more expensive. But 67 as an average is pretty cheap. So it makes sense to have the mining fleets and also your cargo fleets in the same instance. Because in the settings of SLY, it will actually optimize. There's a setting called auto fee. So it will optimize depending on the transactions and find your best spot and your cheapest spot actually for a priority fee. So if you have all the different fleets, so also your scanning fleets in the same instance, and you also do the crafting in the same instance, because scanning and crafting is much more is not as cheap. So then you actually will get much higher numbers here. So that's why I separated those two, and the more expensive ones are in the second instance. So this one is just holding the scanning fleets and also the scanning, the crafting jobs. So a little bit less transactions over almost the same amount of time, 4,000 transactions compared to 20,000 here, in my case. And yeah, so that is actually the reason why, and we can also have a look at the settings. So those are a little bit different, going up to 20,000. But most of the time, of course, they are not that high. They're pretty low, especially right now, because not much. Well, I shouldn't say not much happening on the blockchain, but the blockchain is not congested, so there's no problems on the blockchain. And yeah, and the third instance in my case is actually if you are in a multi-faction guild, then maybe you want to run accounts in multiple factions. So this one is an account for, so my main account is in Ooster, and this one is Mud. I have a couple of fleets and a little bit of crew there doing some crafting, doing some mining, and in Mud, also to get some experience points. So that's another reason I have those separated. Of course, it's a different wallet. So yeah, they need to be separated. And yeah, so that is the reason why you want to have different instances. And again, you unpack the archive directly in your Electron folder, and then you copy the whole folder and make multiple instances. So after that, you actually go to the folder. So let's have a look here. In my case, it's on the desktop, and those are the three folders. So one is called SLY Assistant Mud. The other one is called Ooster 1 and Ooster 2. And if you go inside a folder, and let me actually now close, this one is the third, this one is the Mud instance, and I will now close this one to show you how you can start it. So you go to the folder, you see all the different files, and you need to start the Electron exe file, but you can't do it in Windows. You need to use the command prompt. So that is what we will do. So if you search for, I'm on a German version here, but if you search for command prompt, it's also finding the right one here. So you open this up, and my folders are in the desktop. So you need to cd change directory desktop, and then die directory, and you see here are the three folders. So I will once again change directory into SLY/Mud. It doesn't care if it's small or large letters. Enter. Now I'm in the folder, and let's look at it again. And here's the Electron exe file. And now comes the tricky part. So this was the step where I was struggling with for a simple reason. You just need to know it. So type in electron.exe and then space dot. Don't ask me why, but that is the command. I think it is then loading the SLY settings, so that is probably the reason. Yeah, but what's really important is the space. You need to press the space bar between exe and then the last dot, and I didn't do that, and then it was not running. So now I press enter, and it's starting the app and will load the config. And because this is the Mud config, it loads super fast. Not so much in here. You can see my fleets here and my two crafting jobs. and they are running and moving. So that's great. So, but you don't want to do this start manually, of course, all the time. So it is, I would recommend that you actually create a batch file and put that batch file into auto start. So we will do this now, and you can see I have already done it. This one is the batch file. It is called SLY -M format, and yeah, this is the one I created. If you create it from the start, you just simply use an editor, open it up, and you write down it's just 2 lines. So the first one is echo off. That is preventing that during start this will all be displayed. Yeah, so it will not open up a window here. And the second one is exactly the command that we did when we started it manually. It's electron.exe space dot. So that is the one, and then you simply save as and give it the name that you want to give it. I will close this, but I will show you if I open this one in the editor, then you will see this is exactly what is in there in this file, exactly what I showed you. And then what you can do is this one is copy as path. So you go here, copy the path of the batch file, and the next thing is you type in run, and then you type in here shell :startup. So this will open up a folder where you can put a link to your batch file. So yeah, because of that, every time Windows will restart, yeah, it will also start the batch file, and the batch file will actually start the app. So let's look at this, and you can see I have exactly 3 links in here, and those are the links for the 3 files. And you can also go there and just type new link and copy paste what we just copy as path. So so you have the link here, and then you yeah, give it a name and click done, and then you have a new link in this list. I don't do this now. Yeah, that's essentially what you need to do to make sure that you have your instances in auto run and in auto start. And there's just one last step missing, and then we're done. And the last step is you have to go into the settings and go to advanced, and you need to enter your secret key. So you can see here my key. I'm not worried. This is like showing 20% of my secret key. So there's a lot more coming, and also, as I said, there is not that much in there. No assets. It's a little bit of Atlas and a little bit of Soul. Hopefully, I'm not wrong by showing this. Maybe I will blur it out, but I think it should be fine to because it's just showing, as I said, 20%. Yeah, you copy this in here, and And you get the key by exporting it from your hot wallet. So go to Phantom or go to Soulflare, for example. Go to export secret key. Make sure, so those are not the 24 words or something, or 10 words that you're using for a hot wallet. This is the secret key, so it looks like this in brackets. Yeah. So make sure to copy paste this one. And again, and it's also written here. Swift did a great job in putting all the warnings here. So don't use this feature with your cold wallet, with your handler wallet, where your assets are. Just use this with the Lancer or so-called hot wallet. And so this is one thing. And the other thing that you want to do is you go to config and you open this on your browser version first, and you simply click on import, and then you can mark all of this and just copy it. And then you go to your standalone version here, go on import and paste it in here, and then you click import config. That way, all your settings, if you don't set up a fresh automation, but you want to use your old settings here, your old config, that's the way to do it. Then after that, click reload and you're done. Yeah, that's essentially what you need to do. All the necessary steps. I see we are half an hour in. I think this is a good time. And so if you have any questions, or maybe in general, again, I think you get the idea. I think it's very beneficial. There are a couple of small disadvantages, but there are huge advantages in my opinion, especially if you're running a larger setup. Because then I used to struggle with the system, as I told you. And so the standalone version is really a good app for me to choose. And so I would recommend this to you. If you have any questions, I would also recommend join the SLY Discord. Swift is developing the code right now. I think for the last probably more than 6 months, probably already a year almost. He's doing a great job, in my opinion, bringing a lot of updates. So most of the time, you don't even run it for a week, because every couple of weeks there's a new version coming, and he fixed something or adds a new feature. So that's great. Of course, there are also other software out there like Atom, which is also great. This is just to show the setup for the standalone version. And of course, you can also come to AFIA. We have a visitor chat if you're not a member, and you can also ask some questions there. Very much welcome. Okay, I hope you like this and find this helpful. And thanks for listening, and bye-bye.